Hello and happy March month. I know St. Patty's Day has come and gone, but we Irish folks celebrate month long, sometimes all year. And here at the Cleveland Beat, we celebrate every month by featuring three special people who make a unique difference in our community. Our first interview is with Steve Lindecke from the Elevation Group, which brings us all kinds of great events and will be doing so again this year. So stay tuned for that. And next, we chat with Dennis Castiglione of the Harmony Foundation, who's doing tremendous work using music to help and give hope to incarcerated teens. And last but not least, we talk with Dreadlock Dave, who's always spreading good vibes and has a big Facebook event coming up this Tuesday night. So stay tuned for that. And okay, so let's get started.
Yes, this is the Cleveland Beat, live and direct, in full effect. Hey, what you talking about? Say you don't know the Cleveland Beat. What you talking about? Say you don't know the Cleveland Beat. You must be crazy. You must be crazy.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Cleveland Beat. Today, I'm here to chat with Steve Lindecke, who, together with partner Steve Young, formed the Elevation Group in 2002. Hi, Steve. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Good to see you. Can't wait to talk events and future happenings with you. First of all, tell us about the Elevation Group, which has brought us so much entertainment through the years. You've always been in the thick of things involving music, sports, concerts, even fundraisers, such as the Scott Hamilton and Friends event for cancer research. So how have you managed it this year? Tell us about, the inner workings of everything. And please tell us that things are looking up.
Well, I think we all we're very happy to say that yes, in fact, things are looking up, and at least we can operate with a sense of optimism. And but you referenced some things that we've done. Denny and I are very proud. He's a Clevelander, born and raised here. It's my adopted home. I grew up in St. Louis, but I came here a long time ago, and so we're proud Clevelanders. We have been fortunate to have opportunities to work on a lot of projects, many of them here in town, as well as elsewhere, really around the world. And you mentioned a few of them there. People like to be able to say they go to work and have a good time. Denny and I definitely have a good time. Sports, music, philanthropy, all of those things. You just feel fulfilled and entertained and challenged. It's not like we're just sort of smooth sailing on calm waters all the time. And that sort of segues into how the last year has been a challenge. I like to reference the fact that it's easier to operate when it's either a yes or a no, and maybe is very difficult. And in the live event business, it's been maybe when for a very, very long time. That's created, so not smooth sailing, that's created a lot of stress trying to figure things out. We're really proud. Denny and I are breaking our arms on our own backs because we haven't had to let any of our employees go. We were able to find a way to keep everybody and continue to operate. And now that there seems to be a light at the end of the tunnel, and that we can start to plan and think about running the two festivals that we operate in Ohio, among other things, is really satisfying.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you have been working on a couple of upcoming events, and we want to definitely mention that. First of all, let's touch on the Wonderbus Music and Arts Festival coming up later this summer. Fingers crossed.
Yes, that's in Columbus. That's the younger of the two. Wonderbus is, we always look for a community connection, and we are working with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center there on a mental health initiative Not only does that resonate in the music industry, it resonates with people in general. It's an area that has it's easier for people to talk about it than it used to be. And
Yes.
so many things deserve more attention and time and consideration and empathy and all that sort of stuff. And it was very successfully received in 2019 when we launched Wonderbus. And we look forward to doing it again and taking the contribution that we made to the medical center up a notch or two or three, and to have that got off to a fantastic start. So we hope that just leaps forward and continues to receive community and corporate support, and that everyone has a great time.
Absolutely.
That's
Music can,
That's August 28th and 29th at on the CAS campus, which is a campus that's literally due north of the Ohio State University, right there, kind of in the notch of the Ohio State University northern border and the Olentangy River. It's a wonderful location and fantastic partners that we have there.
that's wonderful. I'm so glad you were very clear on that too. But it's wonderful when you can use music for the good of the community and for people.
Oh yeah.
And we used to have Laura Live in Cleveland for
Yes,
several years, and it's now called Wonderstruck, and that's going to happen this summer as well. Tell us about that.
that's true. Yes, about a month in advance of Wonderbus is Wonderstruck, July 24th and 25th. It previously had been early in June, so we moved it back. We put out an announcement and a release to try and make everyone aware of that. And of course, there'll be much more to come when we announce the lineup. But yes, we had a great partnership with Laurel School, and good things come to an end for various reasons. And so we're moving forward. We also, needed more space. So Lakeland Community College, fantastic group of people there. They've been so cooperative and so understanding, because we had planned to be there last summer, and then we, pull up the stakes for obvious reasons. And now we're looking forward to this year. And in fact, it's important to mention that July 24th and 25th is what we are planning on. Like I said before, yes, no, but we want to have direction. And so the thing to do in order to properly do things is to decide when we're going to do it, but we do need to have tentative plans. So assuming everything goes okay, those will be our dates. We have some backup time in September set aside. And again, I couldn't say nicer things about the leadership at Lakeland Community College to understand that as well and be willing and happy to cooperate with us. They want to see the event happen as much as we do. So
Absolutely.
right there, and that location there at the intersection of 306 and 990 is so accessible. It's so easy to get there from downtown, the south, further east. It's really just a piece of cake location, and we got, the best part is we have parking on site too. So that people love that when you can park and walk.
Yes.
So that's the plan.
And also the best part is that I live about 10 minutes away, so it won't be, far from me at all. And I also wanted to direct people to your website, because of the times that we live in, everyone needs to check in at the website to make sure everything's a go, and to be
Correct.
reminded of dates. So mark.
Mhm.
I want everyone to mark the dates for the Wonderbus is in Columbus, and that's August 28th and 29th. The Wonderstruck will be at Lakeland on July 24th and 25th. But always check the website. So the website
Right.
is.
And the website, if you Google either Wonderbus or Wonderstruck, it'll show you the website. But the websites actually are wonderbusfest.com and wonderstruckfest.com.
Okay, great. And you can't give us a sneak peek on the lineup for the Cleveland Beat, the lineup for either one? No.
I wish I had a bookie and I could have just placed a bet on the fact that you were going to ask me that question, and I was going to have to say, I'm sorry, I can't tell you. I only can, the best I can do is the best I can do is to say, well, first of all, I want to save the excitement for April so that we can make the announcements. We will announce both lineups at the same time. We will put tickets on the minute that we make the announcement. Put tickets on sale the minute that we make the announcement. We will try to make all those details perfectly clear, and but the lineups. It is with great confidence and that I can confirm the lineups are very similar in the overall makeup to what we've had in the past. So if you are at all familiar with the previous 5 festivals that we ran, Hosier, Foster the People, Gary Clark Jr., Sheryl Crow, Grace Potter. I mean, those are some of the great acts that we've had in the past. And it'll be very similar to that, as well as always bringing in, like we've had the Vindies, or we've had Nate Jones, and we've had Diana Chittister. We've had local acts too, so we're always looking in both Cleveland and Columbus for local acts to give an opportunity to be on a stage in front of a great audience, oftentimes larger than what young acts get to see otherwise. It's another kind of community fulfilling sort of response that we get from just being able to operate these events and do that sort of stuff. But the lineups are really really good. There's one of the days in particular is a standout, although all 4 of the days are fantastic, but one of them stands out to me. But music is subjective.
Well, yes, but you know what? The bottom line is going to be live music, and that's what we're all looking
That's right.
forward to. Thank you for
That's
what
right.
you do, Steve. Keep it up. Keep up the hard work, and we're going to be there for you. So we look forward.
If you don't
to
mind
it.
my saying at the end, if you don't mind my adding that Denny and I are constantly paying attention. We have a direct line to the governor's office and the Ohio Department of Health. We are talking with them a lot. We email, they respond. They've been very good. They respond very quickly. So we will be paying a lot of attention to rules and mandates and things like that. Our operations team, there's a core group of around 10 of us, and plan A and plan B and plan C, we already have them written down. And if someone tells us something else or throws us a curve and we need a plan D, we'll figure that out too. But we will be running these festivals the way we're supposed to run them in order to make sure everybody has a great time, is as safe as they want to be, need to be, and can be by being in attendance. So we are putting an enormous amount of time and energy into that as well.
Oh, I'm sure, and I'm so glad you mentioned that. I'm just so excited. I didn't bring up about the protocol. So thanks for adding that.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, thanks again, Steve. Really nice chatting with you, and we really look forward to the summer.
Nice to chat with you, and I hope to see you soon. I guess I'll see you. You just committed to being there at Wonderstruck, so I'll see you then.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Strategic Financial Solutions is a small, boutique financial services company that offers products to our clients based on their personalized needs and situations. We listen to you before developing a plan or strategy to help you meet your goals. From life insurance to college 529 plans, 401k rollovers, and retirement or estate planning, we'll guide you through the best possible income. For a free consultation, call 216-481-1634 or email lkoval@lifemark.com. That's LKOVAL at lifemark.com.
Hello and welcome to the Cleveland Beat once again. I'm here with Dennis Castiglione, who, as Outreach Program and Development Manager, orchestrates an amazing nonprofit called the Harmony Foundation. And it's very important, and I'm so happy to talk with you today, Dennis. Hi, how are you?
I'm great, Deanna. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, I think you're doing, it's a great thing you're doing. So I cannot wait to
Thank
spread
you.
the word about the power of harmony, which combines music with concrete help and hope for incarcerated youth. So tell us more.
Yeah, you bet. Well, the Power of Harmony was actually created here in Cleveland, Ohio, based on my experiences volunteering at the Cuyahoga Hills Juvenile Correctional Facility here in Cleveland. I volunteered back to in 2011 is when I started, and primarily as a faith-based ministry. And as I got to working with the young men, I realized that once they were out, they really didn't have a rudder. They didn't have a good bridge from being incarcerated into the real world again. And quite often, they wind up back in jail. In the state of Ohio, recidivism rate is about 60% for youth. So 6 out of every 10 kids that are in jail and are released go right back in again. So I realized a big part of that was that they didn't have mentorship on the outside, and they didn't have something that was a positive influence that they could invest their time and energy in that might be a way for them to stay out of trouble and stay out of those paths and break that cycle, if you will. So that's a big reason why we started Power of Harmony. And I'm excited about where it's going.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So, yes, music is indeed transformative, and this is an excellent way to merge music and help it make a difference in people's lives. How did you go about and how do you approach the kids? A lot of them probably have never really been exposed to music as far as playing a music instrument or singing. And so, tell us
Sure,
the
sure.
process.
Well, the key is, and what I've discovered in music, when you sing in multi-part harmony, it's really in itself is transformative. You don't realize what you're capable of doing, and when four voices come together and lock in harmony, it just has a whole different feeling for you. And we felt that if these young men had that experience working together in creating good music, that this might be something that they could invest themselves in and find a more positive path. So we do it in four different ways. One is through performance, and that is bringing performances into the facility. Right now, they're all virtual, obviously, because of the pandemic, but bringing different kinds of music in to perform for them. Secondly is education, and that is actually teaching them music, teaching a proper vocal technique, music theory, things of that nature, so they have a better understanding of how music comes about. And then the third is mentorship, being sure that there's men there that can support them, be their guide while they're learning, and then be there for them when they're released as well. So they have a positive role model outside the facility that can guide them towards singing opportunities. Then the fourth is participation. It's one thing to sing and have fun, but if you can build toward actually performing for your peers or others, it's something they can really look forward to. So that fourth piece is forming ensembles within the prison itself and giving them an opportunity to perform for the people that are there and for people on the outside as well. So it's really a four-tiered program, and each of those is equally important in bringing music to them and giving them a way to express themselves and a good, positive, creative outlet for them.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't done it for years. I mean, you hear Johnny Cash did it back in the 50s. He went to the prison and sang to them and how it uplifted everybody. So what
Yeah, you bet. Well, there are prison music programs around the country, but not in juvenile prisons. And part of it, I suppose, is that they're in many cases, their stay in the prison is from 6 months to 2 years, depending on what their infraction is. So part of it is maybe they won't be there long enough to truly appreciate it, which I think is that's not it. And maybe some folks don't believe they'll be as appreciative as adults might be. So there are prison programs in adult prisons around the country, and I've obviously done my research on those to understand what's working and what isn't working for them. But there's no one doing it in the juvenile prisons, which is why we focus there. And thankfully, Harmony Foundation has a good network to allow us to take this nationally and be in positions where we can go in a correctional facility where there's a nearby chorus that can come in and support the program and help us with Power of Harmony in wherever it might be throughout the U.S. So it's a great connection for us to be able to have that.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. You do want to expand nationally. You said you started in 2011?
2011 is
Started
when I
this program?
first started volunteering at Cuyahoga Hills in a faith-based ministry on Sunday evenings with my church. So I've been working with the young men for quite a while. And over that time, just realized that they really didn't, first of all, they're a forgotten population. Once they go behind bars, they're pretty well forgotten. I mean, many don't have family that visit. And the only family they know is the proverbial gang family that they have on the outside or that they connect with on the inside. And as a result, they don't have anything positive in their life that can steer them in the right path to be more productive and a more positive impact on communities. So that's why we believe that not only singing as an outlet is valuable, but giving them an opportunity to connect with choruses on the outside is equally important. So that once they get out, they can continue singing and be surrounded by people that can be helpful to them. You know, many of the young men that I've gotten to know since 2011 that were released and they stayed in contact with don't have many other people that they can reach out to when they're having a tough time. They realize they're about to make a bad decision and they want me to talk them out of it. You know, don't let me go here. You know, the 3 o'clock in the morning call, you know, hey man, I'm in a bad situation here. What should I do? Or can you come down and spend some time with me, whatever it might be. So I realize there's a real need for a bridge there to give them someone and something on the outside that they can lean on that's positive and makes them feel good about themselves. And music is just that. I mean, you know how strong music is in the therapy of it. We lean on music to feel good, whether we're in a bad situation or not. We all love music. And what we're trying to do is not only to teach them music, but expose them to a wide range of music as well. So they understand, you know, what it is that makes great gospel, what's great jazz, what's great contemporary a cappella, what's great barbershop. You know, those kinds of things are things that they're probably not exposed to. And when we do share that with them, they light up. They realize, you know, that they've never sung before in a group that they can harmonize with. And when they realize how tremendous it feels to lock a chord, it is truly transformative. And you see on their faces like, wow, did we just do that? Let's do that again. So it really is a great feeling for them and something to perpetuate. You bet. Yeah.
Yes. How can the community help you? I think that, you know, you have a website to go to and.
Sure. Yeah, you bet. Well, there's two things. First of all, we love, we love for people to get involved. They'd like to volunteer to be a mentor in the program. That's something we can do. If they want to help us financially, that's great too, because we believe to do it right, we have to pay instructors, we have to pay for music, and we pay our performers to perform as well. So those kinds of things are kind of key. So certainly contributions are helpful, and we're fundraising all the time. But volunteer support is also another key component. You know, it's amazing until you've done it. Your impression of what it would feel like to go behind those bars and work with the kids is very different from what that experience ultimately is. You realize in a very short period of time, these are kids. They're 12 to 18 years of age. They've made some really bad decisions in their lives. Some can change that course. Some can't break the cycle for one reason or another. And we want to be there for as many as we can to help break that cycle and get them on a better path. And we believe music is one of the ways that we can make that happen. So, you know, Power of Harmony is, I think, the right program at the right time for them.
Oh, absolutely. A right time for any time, I say.
Yeah, there you go. Sure.
Well, thank you, Dennis, so much for your time. I'm really glad that we got to talk about Power of Harmony, and let's go national. You know, you continue to move
Let's do
forward.
it.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on, Deanna. It was great to talk to you. Thank you again.
Strategic Financial Solutions is a small, boutique financial services company that offers products to our clients based on their personalized needs and situations. We listen to you before developing a plan or strategy to help you meet your goals. From life insurance to college 529 plans, 401k rollovers, and retirement or estate planning, we'll guide you through the best possible income. For a free consultation, call 216-481-1634 or email lkoval@lifemark.com. That's LKOVAL at lifemark.com.
Okay, today we are here with Dreadlock Dave, and we're going to talk all about what's happening in his life these days. So, hi, Dave. How are you?
Good, Deanna. How are you? Thanks so
Really
much for having me on.
great to see you. First of all, I want you to talk about, because you've been in the music business for 30 years. You've seen pretty much it all. You've traveled the country, 200, events a year. And but let's go back to the beginning. How did you start and your influences? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I was raised in a musical family. Both my mom and dad were musical. My father's actually been singing barbershop since he was 14 years old. So I heard harmony all the time, and he continues to this day. He'll be
Wow.
just turned 77, and he's still directing a barbershop chorus in Sedona, Arizona. So both my parents were very supportive of anything I wanted to do musically. Fifth grade, I started with the saxophone, and then I worked my way up through brass, through the marching band in high school, became the president of the marching band at Olmsted Falls High School on the west side of Cleveland. And so that's basically where it started. Also, actually, before that, it was piano lessons at 5, the typical piano lessons. So I was well versed in tons of different styles of music and instruments, before I graduated high school.
Oh, you're lucky. That's wonderful. I know, it's obvious where you got your nickname Dreadlock Dave, but how did that start?
I don't know why.
You just got, yeah. So you've been Dreadlock Dave pretty much for the last 30 years?
Pretty much for the last 30 years, yeah.
All right, well, that's good. Yeah, that's because kind of when it came into vogue. I also wanted to talk about after performing throughout the country, and of course, all the musicians have been affected by COVID. How did you manage to take a negative and turn it into a positive with your live streaming shows every Tuesday night?
Well, really, that's what it was. It was, like you mentioned, I mean, I have been playing for the last 30 years, upwards of 200 or 300 shows a year. So it was a really, and teaching private lessons and rock school and doing, all kinds of things. I had many irons and many fires to make a living as a musician here in Northeast Ohio over the last 30 years. But so yeah, when COVID hit, I was actually in Las Vegas, which was completely surreal because I drove down the strip on the way to get the plane back to Cleveland, and I saw 2 people on the strip. It was like an apocalyptic movie or something. But anyway, the shock of, everything going on in society at that point, I didn't know what I was going to do. So it was about a week later, I said, you know what, I've done, a couple live things before. I do the Facebook Live out remotely just for a song or just to say hello. But I said, you know what, I'm just going to start doing this and, play for myself, but also if anybody wants to join in and listen. My whole thing has kind of been, positive vibes. So I pick tunes, old hippy dippy tunes that I like to play, plus my own music. And I'm, just try to spread that positive vibe and love vibrations.
Yeah.
And, so I figured it would be a vehicle to do that. And, as soon as I started doing it, I mean, I literally had hundreds of people tuning in each week. We've had as many as 14,000 to see an episode, and but it's amazing, and the compliments and everything has just been wonderful, and that interaction, you're watching the text box while you're doing the Facebook Live. So I'm not catching all the comments as I'm performing, but it really, in between the songs, I can react to the comments and scroll back and forth, and it was just a way to connect with people, and which is what I've always tried to do.
And that's amazing that you were able to be able to gravitate towards that right away, because that's a skill. That's a whole new skill, doing it on live, through the streaming. And I love how you describe your music as funkadelic funk pop. I love that. So that pretty much covers a lot of territory.
It absolutely does. I draw from many, many influences, as I mentioned, my formative years. And then since then, I've studied jazz, and I love funk, and, the Beatles and the Sly and the Family Stone are 2 of my favorite groups. So it's kind of this big mix of everything. And, yeah, so it was a new skill, and, I had to get the equipment and learn how to do certain things, but I'm pretty technically I can handle myself in the studio. So it's a lot of the same stuff. And it wasn't too difficult. I had a dear friend, Taylor Netzler, help me put my the OBS together and get that rolling, so I could, you know, have my integrated mixing board and have like a quality sound. You know, I didn't want to just do a cell phone thing, but I wanted to present a you know, a quality show as much as I could.
Sure.
And then you know, we had a few gigs last summer, and I actually caught COVID last July. So it was a mild case for me, fortunately, and made it through. But we did one gig with the band, one of my bands. It's a cover band here in Cleveland called Live Bait, and we did a show outside in the Portage Lakes. We all caught COVID that day.
Oh,
So
wow.
the drummer and myself live, you know, a few miles apart. Mark Tellerico, my dear friend, and our symptoms were basically exactly the same. So we bonded over that. We were in the band together for 10 years, of course, but we bonded over this COVID experience. And he started emailing me drum tracks. So I would add a drum track of his into the show each week. So he was a guest just via satellite, if you will. And once we recovered from COVID, I brought him in. So we started doing outdoor live streams. We did about a half dozen of those this summer. And then we started doing them in the studio when the weather got, you know, typical Cleveland weather. But yeah, it was amazing that we were able to put this together. And so now we have a duo that we're playing together every Tuesday. And it's just been fantastic. So I've just been thankful for the love and the support. You know, there's the virtual tip jar out there I post on the screen, and people have been so generous. And I'm just so thankful for the way it kind of turned out. As weird as this last year has been.
Yeah.
I've managed to survive. And
well, we all need music in our lives, so you've been a real gift to many.
well, thank you.
And it's obvious, you know. All right, so right now you're spreading your groovy vibes and positivity through virtual channels. So tell us more about your Tuesday nights and then what's coming up on your Facebook page.
Yeah, well, you know, you can always go to dreadlockdave.com. That's where I have the links to everything I'm doing. Just like to mention, I'm also writing, just completed co-writing a musical. So
really?
Yeah, it's called Annie Man the Musical, and we're currently casting. We had planned to debut last summer, but of course everything got shut down. So, but that's another project I'm working on. But I'm really proud to say that I've this week will be 52 consecutive weeks, Tuesdays live stream. Even through COVID, I was able to manage up enough energy and do that. So it's just a proud accomplishment that I've done 52 of these in a row with a large majority of them with my partner, Mark Tellerico, on the drums. And so for what I'm calling season 2, which will be week 53, we're having a special presentation. We're going to do some extra stuff, some fun stuff. My friend and your friend, David Sullivan of Terrapin Media, is going to be co-producing the show. And it's going to be a multi-camera shoot and some other interesting things going on. So we're going to have a blast. And that's on the 23rd of March. So that'll be, after this airs.
Yes, so that's going to be another Tuesday, but it's March 23rd. Perfect.
Exactly.
And what time?
That's at 7:00, and it's on the Dreadlock Dave Facebook page. You go to the live section, and you could see. I'll put some promo out on the Dreadlock Dave page, but you can join me there, and would love to see you.
Yeah, and one more thing. So do you record in the basement? Because that room is very cool. I love the 45s on the ceilings, and just it's really got a good vibe.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, this is dubbed Cool and Groovy Studios. So, but yeah, the 45s on the ceiling are actually 45s that were my father's and mine, a collection that have always been on the ceiling regardless of where my studio has been. Just decoration, but I have a lot of just personal odd items and books and records and one of my favorite books, right?
Thank you.
So I've had this. I think I got this when it came out, so I'll have to autograph it at some point.
Absolutely. The 19 years already.
I saw your post the other day. That's fantastic. Congratulations. Yeah.
You know what? Life does go fast when you love what you do.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm blessed and just feel so fortunate. And I love Cleveland and the people of Cleveland. And it's just a fantastic thing. And I love what you guys are doing as well with this interview series.
We love having you on the Cleveland Beat, and thank you so much. And I have it on my calendar, Tuesday, March 23rd, 7 p.m. Dreadlockdave.com.
Yeah, dreadlockdave.com. That's right. Facebook Live.
Okay, great. We'll be there, and I hope all your 14,000 fans will be there as well.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
Anybody's welcome.
Thank you, David.
Hey,
We'll see you.
All right. Take care, Deanna.
Yeah,
Peace.
peace.
Yes, this is the Cleveland Beat. Live and direct. In full effect. Hey. What you talking about? Say you don't know the Cleveland Beat. What you talking about? Say you don't know the Cleveland Beat. You must be crazy.